Bora. Preso que essa porra? Ah, não mete essa, não acertei na carinha.
Exactly did Johnny Ringo do to piss you off?
Well, him and that other bastard.
Roscoe Bob Bryant?
Yep. They both deserve to die, and I promise I'll tell you why. But first I need to tell you about the Cowboys' new boss, Curly Bill Brocious.
Herb's coming!
Get ready, boys.
Tem gente pra caralho aqui.
Curly Bill took charge of the Cowboys upon the old man's demise. And after that gunfight at the OK Corral, the Clantons wanted revenge.
Ô, caralho. Cadê meu povo?
So they murdered Morgan Earp and grievously wounded his older brother, Virgil.
Deus, tem gente pra caramba aqui. Ah, não tem ninguém.
Wyatt and Doc went on what became
Essa arma
known
aqui,
as the
onde que ela
Vendetta
pega, ela
Ride,
machuca, mano.
hunting those outlaws
Não pega
down.
na cara pra matar, não.
So when I showed up, that's who they thought I was.
Die for Christ's sake!
Tem que pegar bala pra essa arma. Tem gente que ainda? Opa, tem uma armadilha aqui, ó.
There were killers around every corner, all wearing red bandanas. That's how the Cowboys identified each other, and I was beginning to wish I had one myself.
You're dead!
Bota a cara, não se espanta. Mais.
I'm putting you down!
But I wasn't about to let Ringo walk away unscathed, and that's what drove me forward.
Can't believe you missed. They say that Ringo was infernally fast.
I hardly saw anyone faster, boy. Certainly not Wyatt Earp. That man was all hat and no cap.
Tá munição, caralho, calma.
Earp wasn't much of a match
Cuida,
for him,
cuida, viado.
but Doc Holliday might.
That lunger should have kept his nose out of it. They never charged anyone for the murder of Morgan Earp.
Aí ele vinha rolando uma
But everybody knew that Curly shot him in the back. That was common knowledge.
Yeah, maybe so. But Ringo had nothing to do with it. He was just being loyal to a friend.
Is that what you call it? Being loyal. Well, to get to that loyal friend, I had to pass by some buzzsaws as big as a man.
Cheio de bala. Deixa eu desarmar essa porra. tu, cara?
Excuse me, sir. I have a question.
What's that, Dwight?
After old man Clanton died, why didn't his son take over the Cowboys?
Because Ike Clanton was dumber than a box of rocks and a yellow belly to boot. Now, where was I?
Taking down the entire cowboy gang single-handed.
Indeed I was, Jack.
Eita.
He's drunk with blood!
Não gasta muita bala não, mano. Tem uma sobra.
You'll die for this, you hear me? Though it wasn't easy, as those boys had good cover. Get out here!
O cara tava aqui embaixo. Porra, só acerta um chapéu na cabeça não. Fuzilando. Agora é. Uma porra. Tô na alma. É rápido. Caralho, foi que é foda.
In for the kill.
Dois ainda.
Keep shooting, I don't mind.
Ah, não é que essa, não era três? Ah, outra ali.
Blame Gil.
Vai, vai, vai.
Can you shoot around corners?
Cara, que sai do lado esquerdo, né? Que sai do lado direito. Não é bobo não.
There were carts everywhere, piles of lumber, and God knows what else for people to hide behind. That really was one hell of a sawmill. Quite an impressive operation.
Porra, fica avançando. Tá muito boa, cara.
And where was Curly Bill? Did you see him?
I'm about to get to that, Ben. Patience. I'm painting a picture here. There was this beautiful waterfall and a crystal clear stream that led to a verdant valley that was truly...
Consider your picture painted. What happened next?
Well, finally the bastards that were still alive made a last stand.
Tô voltando. Oba. A madeireira.
Curly Bill, Johnny Ringo, and his compadres took off into the lumber yard, and I followed after.
Ih, caralho. Volta comparecido. Nossa, Deus, cadê ele?
Are you saying they ran? Cowardice was not in Ringo nor Curly Bill's nature.
No, sir. I never said they were running scared. They just wanted me out in the open.
Ih, caralho, tô pro lado errado. Me arrebentei. Algo não.
Is that so? Send you to kill me? Time to dance with the devil.
Ah, isso é sacanagem. Agora que safado que foge e que se esconde.
Oh, wanna play hide and seek? Gonna kill you like I killed Morgan. Show yourself, coward! Why is he still standing?
Deixa eu correr por ele.
Got a lot of sand out here all by your lonesome.
Vem de logo pra caralho. Caralho. Pega essa porra aí, rapaz. Beleza, vou terminar.
You can't hide forever, boy. You asshole!
Olha o cara corre,
See
mano.
what you got?
Se esconde aqui.
I think he's scared. Make him pay for that.
Doidinho essa porra, hein? Vai rápido.
Come on out, son. You working for Wyatt Earp?
Tá aqui.
Why is he still standing?
Não, se fudeu, velho.
Brocious gave me no choice but to take his life. But Ringo was nowhere to be found.
I knew you didn't kill Ringo, because he was found dead in a different location altogether.
To this day, his killer is still unknown.
Indeed. Took me a few months before I finally tracked his ass to West Turkey Creek Canyon.
That's incredible, sir. I always thought that Doc Holliday was the one that killed him.
Ai, caralho, nem apareceu o bagulho pra me apertar. Aí foi covardia.
That's incredible, sir. I always thought that Doc Holliday was the one that killed him.
cara tira rápido pra caralho.
That's incredible, sir. I always thought that Doc Holliday was the one that killed him.
Sorry I had to ruin the legend for you, boy. But the legend ain't always true. Doc Holliday had nothing to do with the death of Johnny Ringo. I was paid a healthy bounty for Ringo and Curly Bill, and realized there was real money to be made. That's why I went after Henry Plummer.
Now, wasn't he the sheriff who augmented his income by shaking down miners and robbing gold shipments?
That's the one.
Oh, yeah, I remember him. He ran that gang of thieving outlaws called the Innocents.
So it's true that you went toe-to-toe with him?
Indeed I did, son. Indeed I did. I knew I needed resources if I was going to track down Roscoe Bob Bryant. And hunting Plummer looked like a good way to get rich quick. As the local vigilantes exposed him as the leader of the bandits and put a generous price on his head. Plummer rallied his gang to plunder one last gold mine before making their escape. And that's where I thought I'd find him.
It makes me nervous standing so close to all these goddamn barrels of gunpowder.
Why would you be nervous? No one has the cojones to come after us. As long as you don't light up a cigar, we're fine.
Yeah, besides, George is up there on the rocks with that rifle of his. Nothing gets past him.
As my late father pointed out to me more than once, God made men. Samuel Colt made them equal.
Retiro pra caralho. Tem uma mina ali, tem o caminho pra cá. Vou entrar aqui pra ver qual é. Espera. Porra de pistola. Pistola. Ó, não tem vírus. Vou cortar com a minha não. Vou deixar uma coisa aqui. Um caminho. Lá em cima pra ver o que tinha lá. Porra, é essa? E aí? Ele tá aqui pra nada. Eu acho que é por lá por dentro da mina mesmo. Deixa eu ver aqui.
I knew that dynamite wasn't mine. so I decided the polite thing would be to return it. It was the biggest gold rush since Sutter's Mill in '48. Unfortunately, prospectors weren't the only ones drawn to those riches. There were thieves and killers, robbing travelers and hijacking gold shipments. Like those that ran with Plummer. Some were just regular folks I knew from town, drawn by greed and easy pickings.
Não é maluco aquele não?
Charlie Crow, the blacksmith. James, who worked in the stable. Sam and Jeremiah Barber, the butcher's sons. Ordinary citizens who lived a double life. Stealing and thieving and murdering their neighbors.
O caralho. Caralho, tá ligado que os caras estão jogando bomba, mano. O que é isso?
The rest were veterans of the Civil War. Stone-cold killers trained on the bloody fields of Shiloh and Antietam. Plummer had a lot of men on his payroll. A hell of a lot. That son of a bitch pretended to protect the public with one hand while stealing them blind with the other. He set up a defensive perimeter which I had no idea how to breach.
Pô, tá cheio de dinamite aqui, vai dar merda.
Plumber wants that asshole dead.
Dangerous, desperate individuals. I was outnumbered and in way over my head, but I was too damn stubborn and stupid to realize it. They must have thought I was tough. Or had some kind of death wish. Seeing as there were barrels of gunpowder everywhere. One stray bullet, one stray spark, and I'd be blown to hell and gone. Did I have any second thoughts about what I was doing? No.
Não acertou ele quando eu vi? Ah, tá.
I thought I was some kind of hero. I finally made it past and headed on to meet my destiny. But first, I had something I needed to figure out. I had a few ideas on how to get into that mine, but once I made my decision, I knew there was no turning back. So my first thought was to enter the nearest mine portal. I saw an entrance. Made sense. It was the quickest way in, but that also made it more dangerous, as there would undoubtedly be enemy pickets posted along the way.
Caralho. Peraí, só um minuto.
You're done.
Isso aqui... Bom, pistola diferente aqui. Ah, aquela.
Had enough?
Aquela da mira ruim. Caralho.
I'm putting you down.
Porra.
Besides, once you enter a mine like that, it's easy to get all turned around.
Onde que é?
And that confusing maze of corridors wouldn't even be the worst of it.
Cut him down.
Some of those shafts could be as deep as hell.
Caralho, o maluco tá dando tiro pra porra.
What the hell?
Vou jogar aqui, parece que tô voltando, né?
A single stumble or misstep can easily end in a deadly plunge to oblivion.
Se eu cheguei num lugar que não tem, que tem inimigo, é porque eu não tô voltando. Não tem, aí deu ruim. Cara, esse aqui é um labirinto do caralho. Não sei nem pra onde eu vou aqui.
I do not deserve to die like this.
Será que vai ver aqui?
Quick reflexes often make up for a lack of common sense.
Caralho!
Luckily, I was never one to be
Eu
easily
não vi porra
bushwhacked.
nenhuma ali vindo, mano. O cara jogou um carrinho em cima de mim, mano. Covardinho.
I would just need to be careful not to blow myself to kingdom come.
Get him.
With all that
Caraca,
gunpowder and
cheguei na
dynamite
última.
everywhere, a body has to know what he's shooting at.
Isso vai dar uma merda, olha só.
All it takes is one tiny spark,
Eu queria
and
testar.
boom.
There he is.
Aí. Mano, tem que acertar.
I do not deserve to die
Puta que
like
pariu.
this.
Acertei o granito. Pô, apertei pro lado, mano.
Get him.
Porra, tomando cuidado aqui pra esse filho da puta não explodir tudo.
Show yourself, coward.
Vai, velho, bota a cara. Tá bom, um braço também mata. Caralho, que lugar é esse, mano? Olha, não sei nem
One
pra...
wrong bullet could have turned that mine into a dad-blasted tube.
Cara... Ai, fodeu.
I freely admit that my plan of attack was not just
Agora deu
moronic,
ruim.
but clearly insane.
Sim, porra.
It's a
Ah,
good
não
thing
morri
that
não,
I
né?
abandoned that ridiculous plan before I even tried it. Instead, I
tá.
spotted a ladder
Tô contando a história.
way into the mine from the opposite side. It was a long
rodar
way
aquela porra
around,
até eu
but that
morrer.
approach seemed more sensible at the time. Of course, being I had a problem with heights, that scaffolding scared the bejesus out of me. Climbing down that ladder required some caution, because even though I had a younger man's reflexes, no man can dodge a damn bullet while climbing down a rickety ladder.
E aí, tem que pular mesmo?
I needed to make a leap of faith,
O boneco aqui é meio ruim de pulo.
which ain't easy when you're suspended between
Não
heaven
dá pra
and
fazer isso
hell.
não. Vou tentar.
I was determined not to give up, however. As Sheriff Plummer seemed quite the despicable character. When the vigilantes discovered what the sheriff was up to, people were outraged. That 10,000 they put on his head would go a long way to helping me find old Bob. And I had made it my mission to settle that score come hell or high water.
Vai pra onde?
But first, I would have to make a choice.
Cara, não tem porra nenhuma, vai falar mesmo.
Take the elevator or climb the ladder. I wanted to use the element of surprise. Plus, I figured I could use the exercise. I was warmed up already, so what the hell?
Tá boiando na porra da vigia?
Plummer was a mad dog killer, and the people of Nevada City deserved better.
Nevada City?
Ô, viado.
Well, I thought Plummer met his maker in Bannock, Montana.
Porra, tem que botar o tarro. Não dá pra brincar.
Right, well, he was the sheriff of both places at one time or another,
Ô,
but that's
caralho,
neither
toda
here
hora
nor
essa
there.
porra de bomba. Tô sangue pra caralho. Olha, quem tá jogando essa merda? Diária aqui, né?
The point was, taking him down would save a lot of lives, including my own.
Tem que carregar essa bomba que voa agora. Não tá pulando por quê, cara? Tô entendendo o que esse porra quer fazer. Deixa eu ver. O objetivo é por ali mesmo. Eu baixei que o viado não passou. Vamos ver. Não, eu tenho que dar um... Não, parabéns. Fudeu, eu tô cercado aqui. Caralho.
Henry Plummer was clearly unhinged, and I could see right away that this was going to take some doing.
Pô, o maluco dá tiro pra caralho. Já joga a bomba. Cadê? Porra. Ah, esse cara não tem sangue não, mano. O viado chamou o bonde, mano. Cadê? Vou usar a pistola, senão não pode. caralho. Pô, tô num lugarzinho que foda, hein? Cadê esse cara, mano? Ah, ele. Pode se fuder, arrombar. Já tá. Fudeu. Porra. Caralho. Aí o cara tá... O cara tá apelando pra caralho no final, velho. Agora o cara tá quase matando, o bicho começou a... Deu uma louca, filho da puta. Ah, bom, o sangue dele tá na metade já. Tá atirando? Vamos pra ver esse maluco, mano. Mano, enjoado pra caralho, mano. Vai. Vou ficar gastando bala aqui com essa porra. Isso. Aí você... Filha da puta aceita essa porra também. Subi de nível, mas tô no pó da rabiola, mano. Fica correndo, ele pode parar bem aqui que eu não vejo. Cadê? Ó, você tá aqui mesmo, arrombado. Ele joga bomba e corre, mano. Olha lá onde já tá. Quando ele bota a cara ali, meu irmão, me fudeu. Agora me fudeu, mano. Fui pro lado da bomba, da porra da bala, caralho. Esse aqui tá safado, esse maluco, hein. Filho da puta, rapaz. Pera, deixa eu pegar um combustível aqui, senão não vou matar esse cara não. Cadê? Como é que tá o sangue dele? Na metade do novo. Pô, esse lugar aqui é bom. Só que ele do sofá tá pra caralho com essas bombas. Eu dei um tiro, não arranca nada, mano. Vai. Fica. Ô, viado. Porra. Caralho, regacei ele, hein? Depois jogar bomba, eu acertei.
So that's how Henry Plummer died.
Caralho.
Him and his crew were worth their weight in gold.
Maluco é
And
difícil.
now, I was officially a bounty hunter.
Vamos ver aqui que eu ganhei um... Que foi dele isso aqui? Essa porra aqui, vai ver, cara.
So, did you finally go after that Bob feller?
Well, I heard word he was in Kansas with John Wesley Hardin. So that's where I went.
Where in Kansas?
Abilene. Why do you ask, Ben?
No reason.
Was Hardin as fast as Ringo?
Ringo was fast, but John Wesley was as fast as the devil himself. Hell, he killed his first man at 15. From that day forward, he had a price on his head and wouldn't back down for nobody, not even Wild Bill Hickok himself.
Isso aí é do pica-pau, hein? Wild Bill Hickok.
I dodged death many a time.
Ah, já bota na furada do caralho.
I was there with the intention of finding that bastard Bob and collecting the bounty on John Wesley.
Tem uma luta aqui na lateral aqui que tá enchendo a porra do saco. Cadê? Aí, beleza.
You're dead.
I thought the Texas Rangers got Hardin.
Yeah, that's what they want you to believe. It was coldin' a witch's tit and a brass bra that night as I fought my way past his loyal compadres to the very same saloon we're sitting in today. Look around and imagine this place painted in blood. Hardin was waiting for me, and... Wait, I'm jumping the gun here. Let me back up and give you some background on this sumbitch. He deserves that much. Don't you think so, Ben? John Wesley Hardin was a killer. By the end, he confessed to taking the lives of 42 men. He was a bona fide folk hero by then, and had amassed a gang of armed miscreants and other assorted thugs. He and his men set up camp outside of town, and I was hoping Bob was among them.
Shit, it's cold out here. I'm freezing my giblets off.
Ain't right we gotta stay out here keeping watch like this.
Ain't no bird stupid.
Shoot that son of a bitch!
They didn't ask why I was there. They knew. As most of them were wanted as well. I figured Hardin was here somewhere, but to get to him, I'd have to get past his gun hands. I had to spill a lot of blood to find out Hardin wasn't in that camp. He was carousing in town with his closest friends. Hardin's boys apparently didn't want me to reach the Bull's Head. Some were hightailing it into town to inform their jefe of my unwelcome presence.
Dá uns tiros. Parece que tem monte de gente tirando.
You bastard!
Eita.
Brother, I'm gonna make you pay for that.
Ah, aqui vão voar, mano.
Whoa! Tell Hardin someone's coming for him.
Stop that son of a bitch!
Cadê? Quem tá aí?
Let the boys know we got another law dog.
Cara, eu vou dar aquela pistola.
I wondered if Bob was among them. And I steeled myself for the fight ahead. For as good as I was, deep down I wondered if John Wesley wasn't just a little bit better. Before I could test my mettle against Hardin, however, I would first need to dispatch his cadre of hired killers. Most of these degenerates were beyond redemption, but John Wesley might have been a different story.
Deixa eu ver se eu acerto agora esse negócio. Sempre erro esse troço aqui. Ah, tô entendendo. Porra, essa pistola aqui é bem mais rápido pra carregar, né? Também a bala vai embora. Pô, já gastei quanta bala com esse cara. Caralho, não morre não, mano. Vai, viado, bota a cara.
I didn't learn until later that that night was in fact his birthday celebration.
Aqui onde pega destrói, velho. Os fogos aí tá foda. Onde está?
You think you can kill me?
beleza. Vamos meter uma galinha, filha da puta.
Can't get a good shot at it.
I think I already mentioned that I found Hardin in this very saloon.
Doideira, né? Dá uns caminhos meio doidos. Deixa eu ver.
Suffice it to say, nobody there was happy to see me. In fact, I felt a certain hostility.
Caralho. Porra, foda, mano. Ó, é um monte de tiro.
I was disappointed that neither Bob nor John Wesley were among the dead. But that was short-lived, as a moment later I was facing down the fastest gun in the West. I felt a bolt of adrenaline. Or maybe that was fear.
Isso aí é marrento.
He was well known for his tricks.
Deve tirar
And I
rápido pra
knew I'd
caralho.
need my own if I was ever to defeat him. No, wait.
Porra
You didn't
nenhuma,
hit me
agora.
then. I'm sure of it.
Esse aqui pra mim é a pior coisa que tem. Ó, chato pra caralho. Larga o aço, filha da puta logo, bigodinho. Tá mirando pra cá do caralho, por quê, cara? Não entendendo não. Eu botei a mira na cara do maluco, nos peitos. Tá caralho.
That man was faster than greased lightning. But being inebriated as he was, he didn't count his shots. And now, he was at my mercy.
So he didn't die?
No, I sent him to prison. Years later, after he was free, some restless avenger took his life. Shot him in the back at a saloon just like this one. Anybody up for another beer? Ben? Thank you, darling. Yeah, some say revenge is a dish best served cold.
So whatever happened to that Bob guy you were after?
Personally, I'd like to hear some of your other adventures. Like, I don't know, did you ever go toe-to-toe with a red man?
Yes, I did, Ben. I remember once I was after this renegade Apache, Grey Wolf. Strangely enough, revenge was also his primary motivation. A bounty was put on Grey Wolf's head, and that's how I came to hunt him in the mountains. Mountains so high they tickled the nether regions of heaven. Grey Wolf was a Chiricahua Apache medicine man who had led a war party in revenge for a massacre against his people. The U.S. Army had attacked his tribe during his daughter's sacred sunrise ceremony, and the slaughter was unspeakable. I understood his anger, as there's nothing more traumatic than seeing those you love die in a cruel and painful death. Right from the beginning, I couldn't shake the feeling that Grey Wolf was watching my every move. He led a band of young Apache warriors who wanted retribution and were more than willing to die for him.
Outro caminho aqui, ó.
They saw me before I saw them.
Paradinho assim.
And it crossed my mind that maybe this wasn't such a good idea. But now that the shooting had started, there was no backing
Tiro pra
down.
caralho. Aí, dá nem pra botar a cara muito tempo.
It was rugged country, the winter home of the Chiricahuas, and that's why they had retreated there.
Tá atirando aonde, cara? Não tô vendo ninguém, mano. Ah, abaixa, caralho.
I admit to having some regrets about going after them the way I did. But then again, I got a lot of those.
O cara grita tudo.
Did you find Grey Wolf?
Not at that moment, but I did find the entrance to their hideout.
Essa arma é muito boa, mano. Quem pôr de arma é essa?
A deep crevice that led to a deeper cave.
Don't tell me you went in there.
Yeah, but it's
No,
not
we
out
can
of
miss that one,
bravery
yeah.
so much as pure, angry cussedness. See, back then, I had a stubborn streak a mile wide, and I wasn't about to back down.
So it was like pitch black in there?
Actually, it was pretty well lit, as they had torches on the walls.
Não sei que foi o mal que eu matei. Pra lá não. Porra. Minha arma, cara.
How big was his cave?
Big as hell, Ben. Chiricahua had hid out there during the Indian Wars.
Cara, não é um tiro, mano.
They thought it was haunted with the ghosts of those murdered by the horse soldiers.
The cave was haunted with dead Indian ghosts?
To be honest, I was more concerned with the live ones than the dead ones.
Porra, joguei uma pistola fora. Caralho, tá soviético. É, meu amigo, tem que recarregar essas armas aqui. Eu vou jogar com essa aqui. É ruim de pulo pra caralho, mano. Calma, velho.
How come you know so much about engines?
A few years back, I was married to two Mescalero women.
At the same time?
Yeah, they were sisters. Polygyny is traditional among the Mescalero.
So what happened?
Oh, I had to get out of there. Those girls never shut up. Both of them nagging at me all the time. Drove me half crazy. Haven't seen them since.
No, I mean, what happened with Grey Wolf?
Oh, well, I pursued him into the Cave of Death.
Cara, é meio causeiro pra caralho. Porra, acho que essa... Não, não é essa pistola não, mano. Da outra que tava aqui. Ai, já.
I came upon this flooded grotto, and that's when I saw him. He came to me unarmed and unafraid. His voice echoed in the shadows,
Porra, com a cara de
and
ruim
I
do
sensed
caralho.
he meant me no harm.
You carry great darkness in your heart, and if you do not release it, it will claim your soul.
The sound of his voice put some kind of ancient Indian spell on me. As his story unfolded in my mind,
Eita porra.
You will come to this place again and kill many more men, and the darkness will grow until it consumes everything that you are. The soul would have no rainbow if I had no tears.
he said I was a great warrior, a coyote man, unequaled by any other pale-faced warrior, or something like that.
The snakes will bite shadows of your past until a venom poisons your heart, and an echo of the song of the dead summons the spirits deep from within the mountains.
I didn't quite get what he was saying, but there was definitely snakes. And indeed, his warriors surrounded me and attacked me like hungry wolverines. They couldn't stop me, though, and Grey Wolf wasn't in the mood for
Caralho,
idle
quando
talk.
cerca assim, fudeu.
I swear I couldn't see any way out of this trap. But suddenly, one just appeared. Kind of like a miracle.
Já tá vendo doideira já.
I felt like I would be lost in that damn cave forever. Finally, I found myself back outside, perched on the edge of a precipice, overlooking a thundering whitewater river. To get where I was going required several leaps of faith, but no way in hell I was turning back. I chased after him, determined to make him explain the meaning of all that mumbo-jumbo.
Mumbo-jumbo is right. Are you making this all up as you go?
A few details may be fuzzy, brother, but I am relating exactly what happened to me. There were dozens of Apache warriors aiming at me from on high.
Dozens?
Well, maybe not dozens, but there was a lot of them.
At least 3 or 4.
Well, more than that, little lady.
Morre com um hit safado desse, mano.
I had a steep climb up creek ahead of me and scrambled up those rocks like a mountain goat. I was determined to locate Grey Wolf and find out exactly what the hell he was trying to tell me. And wouldn't you know it, that crafty son of a bitch led me right into a trap.
What kind of trap?
Well, son, there had to be at least 100 Apaches around.
Caralho, não furada da
God
porra,
be
mano.
my witness.
Come on, who you kidding?
Porra, vai ser foda, hein? Deu ruim aqui, hein? Deu PT. Vou dar uma iniciada aqui.
Well, son, there had to be at least 100 Apaches around here.
Porra, tava vendo um negócio aqui.
Well, son, there had to be at least 100 Apaches around here. God be my witness.
Oh, come on. Who are you kidding?
Hey, I believe you. Come on, tell us how it ended.
All right, but I'm not gonna drag this out. Where were we?
You were surrounded by 100 Apache warriors.
Porra, tá doideira isso aqui, mano. Eu tenho que acertar aquela sequência ali, aí eu... Dá pra matar todos.
You were surrounded by 100 Apache warriors.
Well, I didn't take the time to count them exactly, but there were a lot of them.
Caralho, nem acredito nisso. Era isso de puta. Calma. Eu também ficou num lugar mal pra caralho. Caralho, meu irmão, ataque soviético essa porra. Cadê, mano? Não tô vendo ninguém. Ah, tá. Não para não, mano.
And in the end, a path appeared before me that I had not seen before.
Meteu o pé, mano.
I followed it as I desperately needed to find out what Grey Wolf was trying to tell me. But it was like that son of a bitch disappeared into thin air.
O povo fumou maconha indígena.
Never did find him. And never did collect my goddamn bounty.
Vou até essa porra de logo.
Thank you, darling. It's interesting how the truth can sometimes seem might malleable, depending upon your point of view.
Like how those dime novels make you out to be something you're not?
Jack, don't be starting trouble.
No, he's right. They do tend to exaggerate.
Did they exaggerate your part in taking down the Daltons?
Well, I was there in the flesh, boy, so I saw what happened firsthand. Those Daltons were lawmen once, before they all went bad, robbing banks and trains clear across the territory. Until Coffeeville, of course. I was one of the citizens who took up arms that day.
Fighting on the side of the right?
I did my best, sir. We all did. It was early morning. One of my friends was a local gunsmith, and he handed out firearms to anybody who'd take one. You see, the Daltons got it in their heads to rob 2 banks at the same time. 2 banks on the same damn street. Story was Bob Dalton's girl was always riding him about how he had no ambition. Oh, you're nobody next to Jesse James, she'd say. Finally, the bastard took his brothers to Coffeeville just to shut her up. Well, the locals recognized the Daltons right off. Before they could get away, half the town took up arms to defend their property.
Put some holes in them!
The brothers paid dearly for their stupidity, but everybody knows they had it coming.
There's more to it than that. I read all about that day, so I know for a fact that it went down very differently. First of all, it was high noon. A posse of U.S. deputy marshals were on the rooftop across the street.
Get ready, boys. They're gonna make a move.
The lawmen had been tracking the Daltons for months. Now they finally had them dead to rights. But those boys had a reputation as stone-cold killers, so the marshals took every precaution, knowing they wouldn't go easy. Among them was a bounty hunter feared by many a lawbreaker. The marshals tried to get the Daltons to surrender.
They'll give up eventually. You just gotta wait to suck the bitches out.
This bounty hunter knew that the brothers were far too proud to ever lay down their guns. He went in there alone to confront those criminals. One of the marshals shouted, "Where are you going? Are you crazy?"
Hey, where do you think you're going, dumbass? That rifle's mine.
He saw a way to get around to the back of the bank. Then he figured out how to hit the Daltons from a direction they weren't expecting. From above. Fortunately, a water tower was right there. A moment later, he was climbing up a steep ladder, laughing at danger as he did. It was brave men like him who risked their lives to tame this wild country.
Agora é. Caralho, porra, foi essa?
We've got company.
Heroic men like him, who did what other men couldn't or wouldn't to make this country free. Like Jim Boone, Davy Crockett, who died defending the Alamo.
Is that Silas Greaves? Son of a bitch!
Merda pra caralho. Vou pegar outra não. Aí, essa aqui que eu queria. Pode chorar, velho. Como é que a gente
came away
passada?
victorious, taking down those thieving Daltons.
Morre, cara.
His name was Silas Greaves, and when the dust finally settled, he was the last man standing.
Sorry, kid, but that just wasn't the way it happened. It was early evening, not high noon. I was late to the party, and Coffeyville was already up in arms. The Daltons blew up a safe, and were all set to hightail it out of there. Those pathetic deputies surrounding the bank were dropping like flies. I'd been tracking those jokers for months, waiting for them to do something reckless. Boy, finally they did. Those stupid bastards decided to rob 2 banks at the same time in the same town where everybody knew them, but they still had friends in Coffeyville.
Tiro no cu do viado. Those friends came after me like a pack of wild dogs, tooth and nail. They were coming at me from all directions. Calma, porra. Tá me acertando, cara.
I caught sight of the Daltons running with the money and didn't want to lose them. Problem was, they knew the town better than I did. And to top it off, I found myself in the middle of another shootout entirely.
Did the Daltons hole up in somebody's house?
No, it was the Smiths, I believe. They were cousins of the Daltons. And they were shooting at the Browns, who were shooting at the Daltons. Which wasn't any surprise, because those 2 families have been feuding forever. And since the Joneses are related to the Browns, they shot at the Smiths, pissing off the Heimhoffers, whose daughter recently married a Smith. Well, bullets were flying every which way as all the old feuds in Kansas caught fire all at once. There was a hell of a lot of pissed off people in Coffeyville that day. But that's just the way life is sometimes. Shit happens. Dalton boys knew I would never give up. Those Daltons weren't the sharpest knives in the drawer, but they always stood together. They set a trap to slow me down and allow at least 2 of them to escape. The third brother stayed behind to plant me, just in case that trap of theirs didn't work.
Deus, como é que passa aqui agora? Cachorrada do caralho.
It was Emmett, the youngest, and he decided to stand his ground and face me down.
I ain't afraid of you, Silas Greaves. This is where it ends for you.
He was determined to protect his brothers. I understood how he felt. Taking me on all by his lonesome wasn't exactly a recipe for a long life.
But Emmett Dalton survived the robbery in Coffeyville. He's the only Dalton who did.
They say he was shot 23 times.
Well, Dwight, who do you think put all those damn holes in him? But I have to admit, that boy had grit.
Rapaziada, vou segurar essa campanha por aqui. Pô, já passei bastante fase, então eu devo estar quase zerando já, não sei. Não sei o tamanho desse jogo. De toda forma, na próxima vez vou continuar essa jogatina aqui, já. Tamo junto, valeu. Até a próxima aí.